Hi everyone, Molly, Purple Door Psychic here, coming to you with another Wicca Wednesday. Now, I wasn't necessarily going to do this until further on, but because some people have been asking me some questions and wanted to learn more, I was like, screw it, let's go ahead and do it. So today we're going to talk about how to protect yourself with wardings and how to do some bindings and some cleansings and some removals and stuff. Now I'm just going over the bare basics because I don't have a lot of time to go into everything, but I'm just going to talk about just some of the herbs to use, some of the herbs not to use, the different kinds of tools that you can do. Not necessarily going to go into the rituals that I use because those are passed down through my family, and it's always best if you create the ritual yourself because it's coming from you. It's not coming from another person. It's not another person's words. So you definitely want to make that ritual your own. So, as I mentioned on my TikTok a couple of days ago, I was doing an event with survivors of suicide loss. And with being who I am, I pick up on a lot of things. Thankfully, the events went without a hitch, and I was warded for those. And what I do normally is I use some Nordic runes for wardings and to keep myself protected. And I use these in a way that I have them on my car. I have them in my house, along with other things to protect myself in my house, such as a triquetra, evil eyes, St. Bridget's cross, those kinds of things that can really help protect the house, as well as protection pouches. But when it comes to warding, what I do, and I mean, this is up to you, it's your own personal choice, is you can either write them. I usually write it right here on my wrist or right here on my wrist. You can write them on your wrists with permanent markers or colored pencils, or, well, sorry, not colored pencils, colored markers, thing else like that, or you can have them tattooed on you if that is something that you would like. The reason why I do not have them tattooed on me is because I sometimes these protection and wards, they make it so I can't necessarily tap into my powers fully because they fully shut things down, protect me. So that's why I do the permanent markers or the colored markers or something. That way I can just wash them off and wash them away. Like I mentioned, Nordic runes, find the ones that speak to you: protection, strength, fortitude, those kinds of runes, and just kind of play around with it a bit. You can also use the Ogam, which is ancient Celtic alphabet, to go ahead and write your intentions down your wrist or your arms. That way you can go ahead and ward yourself. Now, when we do in my house, when we do the property wardings, what we like to do is we like to take quite a few different herbs and make sure that we are able to fully protect the property as much as possible. So I take little pouches, and you can find these pouches anywhere. They're little like muslin pouches that you just put your herbs in. And we normally use things that will help with protection, such as lavender, rosemary, chamomile. We'll put some salt in there, some sage. Sage is absolutely fantastic for kind of cleansing and protecting. And then I will do some of my hair. Now, this bad boy right here, on the top of it, as you'll see, it's labeled Mojo. That's because this is the one that has all the power into it. And it's one that we use quite often when we are doing cleansings in our home and protection with our home, and also protection for our family members. We've been asked quite often to do protection pouches and also cleansings for our family and friends. Now, if you're not too sure about what kind of herbs to use and what kind of herbs not to use, this right here will be your friend. This is Cunningham's, and Cunningham has a fantastic library of different books to use, but Cunningham's Encyclopedia and Magical Herbs. So absolutely fantastic. And in it, not only will you see the names of it, sorry, not only will you see the names of it, but you also see the descriptions of it. And put my glasses on. So, for example, knotweed, it gives you the scientific name, the folk name, such as Armstrong, cowgrass, hogweed, knotgrass, nine joints, and its gender, which is feminine, the planet Saturn, the element Earth, and the powers binding and health. So this is a good one that you would use in a binding spell that you do to bind somebody else. And it has all sorts of different, even apples. It has all sorts of different herbs and plants in here that you can use, that you can learn from. Fantastic, fantastic book. And then for those of you who are wanting to know a little bit more about kitchen witchcraft, here is Kitchen Witchcraft Garden Magic. another great book to go ahead and pick and learn from. It doesn't necessarily have the pictures as the Cunningham's does, but it does tell you about how to do things such as crystals in the garden, and why you would want to put your crystals in your garden, and how to help your garden grow. Because if you are going to be doing your own spell work with your own herbs, you want to definitely grow them yourself. I mean, you can purchase the herbs from different shops and also the grocery store and everything, but you definitely want to be able to have them in your garden yourself. That way you always have them on hand. And also, if you're nurturing those herbs, you have a deeper connection to them. So as I mentioned, for my kind of cleansings, and I do a lot of sage, and sage is absolutely fantastic. This here is what we call a sage stick. Now they come this big, but they also come a little bit smaller. I like the bigger ones. As you can see, it's very well used. I like the bigger ones because it really gets the sage all throughout the house. And when you're saging, you want to be very, very purposeful when you're going throughout the house, and you want to go ahead and have those words come from you. Now, you can say a prayer if you want to say a prayer. I've had people say the Lord's Prayer. I've had them call out to St. Michael. So it can definitely be something that's Christian based if that's something that you want to do. I myself, I have a ritual that I do where I am cleansing out the house, but I go through every single corner of the house as much as possible to go ahead and make sure that nothing negative is still there. We usually do it once a yearly quarter. That way we can go ahead and get the house completely cleansed. Usually after Samhain is a good time to do it, because the wheel of the year is starting over. And sometimes with Samhain, you have people hanging on who don't necessarily need to hang on. But definitely use that in the house. And also use lavender. Lavender is absolutely fantastic. You sprinkle a little bit of lavender mixed with some salt in all the four corners of the house, and that will help get things kind of removed and everything. One of my favorite things to do also is to keep glass jars, because it's fantastic for keeping all your herbs in. And then I do a little bit of a blacktop or blackboard paint along with chalk paint on it, so I know what it is. This is my clearing one. This is the one that I use the most when it comes time to go ahead and clear somebody's house out, get somebody out there. I also have, you can also have ones for your full moon. Let's see, this one is expel. I have one for shutting doors, for removal, for bindings, for banishings, for purification. And then you also always want to keep on hand salt. I mean, this is going to be the go-to, because negative energies and negative forces, they don't necessarily like salt. Salt is very, very pure, so therefore they can't necessarily cross salt. What we like to do is we like to lay a bit of salt in our doorways. That way nothing can go ahead and cross over it and cause any problems in our home. But that was a little bit. So if you want to know a little bit more, feel free to contact me. I'm more than happy to go through some of the herbs with you, and some of the things that you can do, and definitely some of the things not to do. But thank you very much, and have a wonderful rest of your week and a very blessed day.